Let's start with a premise. The MAGA movement loves to brand their orange savior, Donald Trump, as the ultimate alpha male winner. But as Donald Trump is getting ready for term number 2, his cabinet picks reveal something interesting. Trump has assembled what I can really only describe as a loser squad. This is not hyperbole. Trump's new cabinet is stacked to the gills with people who have one particular thing in common, other than being unqualified for most of their roles. It's that they have an impressive history of losing elections. There's a nice little article on Roll Call called Trump's Second Administration Set to be Filled with Losers. The article is by Nathan Gonzalez, and it makes the argument that Trump's cabinet picks are consistently losers. Now, I want to be clear. Losing an election doesn't mean you can't serve in government. Plenty of great leaders have stumbled at the ballot box, and then they did good things or were competent. You could imagine, I don't know, a lawyer runs for something and loses and then gets hired to be White House counsel. But no, fine, no problem. The point here is the sheer number of losing candidates that Donald Trump is bringing on board. And it really is remarkable. It's like Trump went out of his way to prove he doesn't just love losers, he loves hiring losers. So I'll just run down the list. These are nominees. Secretary of State nominee Marco Rubio. Humiliating 2016 Republican primary performance. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon, the wrestling lady. Back-to-back losses running for Senate in Connecticut. Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez DeRemer. 3 election losses to her name. 3. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth tried to run for Senate in Minnesota, didn't even make it to the primary. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, former congressman, he tried to win the governor's race in New York in 2022, lost that one. Doge guy, the Department of Grifty Edgelords, Vivek Ramaswamy, lost the Republican primary, lost by a lot. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Scott Turner, lost the 2006 special election so badly, he finished 8th in a crowded field. The Secretary of Veterans Affairs, former Republican Congressman from Georgia, Doug Collins, lost 2020 election for a Senate seat in Georgia. Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., he lost multiple campaigns this cycle. He didn't win as an independent. He didn't win the Democratic primary. He didn't win anything that he ran for. Dr. Oz lost his Senate race in the last cycle. Director of National Intelligence, former Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, unsuccessful Democratic primary run. White House Press Secretary nominee Caroline Leavitt lost a couple years ago in New Hampshire's 1st District. I could go on and on and on. But this is yet another way in which Trump's presidencies embody the smoke and mirrors reality that everything is the opposite of what Trump claims. And Trump claims to be the person who hires winners and hires alphas and is alpha. And it's just winning is oozing out of every pore of their bodies. They hit the body with winning. And these are all losers who then end up having to go and get hired for something else because the voters wouldn't actually reward them with a position. If they were supremely qualified for their roles, it would be different. But it's both. These are a band of losers who also have no business being in the roles they're in. You're going to put Dr. Oz in charge of programs he seems skeptical about. You're going to put Pete Hegseth in charge of the Defense Department. Wrestling lady Linda McMahon in charge of education, including when she's accused of having covered up, looked the other way with regard to sexual assault. Tulsi Gabbard, a possible sort of soft Russian asset whose interest seems to be foreign countries rather than ours, in charge as director of national intelligence. It's both that they have no business being in these roles and also that they happen to be political losers. Now, what's ultimately going to happen, we know from experience, is that Trump will have explosive radioactive fallouts with a number of these people, and probably within the first year. Who will resign? Who will get fired? Who will Trump ultimately say, I did hire the right person, but they became bad. They were the right hire at the time. We can see now these are not good hires, and it's only a matter of time until it blows up in his face. Those who follow me on social media may be familiar with my dad's dog, Nemo Pac-Man. Like me, Nemo Pac-Man has no middle name. And that's why I love our sponsor, Ollie. It's clean, fresh nutrition for your dog in 5 flavors your dog will love. You don't need to be a veterinary nutritionist to know that feeding your dog real whole foods with minimal processing is one of the best choices for their health. No harmful fillers, preservatives. Ollie is made in the US in American kitchens using ingredients sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world. You fill out Ollie's 30-second quiz. They'll do a customized meal plan based on your dog's weight, activity level, and other health considerations. For first-time customers, Ollie sends your dog's first box with 2 weeks of meals and a guide for switching them gradually to the new food. Ollie offers 3 plans to choose from. There's the Fresh Plan, the Fresh Topper Plan, or the Mixed Plan. Right now, you'll get 60% off your first box when you go to ollie.com and enter the code PACMAN. They even offer a clean bowl guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied with the first box, you get your money back. The link is in the description.